What's going on, traders? Hope everybody had a great Tuesday. It is August 15th, and we'll be doing an analysis of the S&P 500, the Spider ETF, as well as looking at some levels where we may want to engage the market tomorrow, manage our risk. As always, this video is for educational and entertainment purposes only, and in no way should be viewed as financial advice. For the subscribers and listeners that have been following along with these plans, welcome back. Happy to have you. Really appreciate you guys tuning in for these daily plans and being prepared every day for the markets. All right, so starting off with the daily chart here, and the main thing that comes to my mind is that we did see a close finally below that 444, and that is not a good look for the bulls overall. However, I would really like to see a little bit more confirmation, maybe even a weekly close under that 444. It is such a big level on the markets, so it can be more prone to fake moves. So we'll see how the week ends up closing. That being said, we did have some nice activity for the bears today. Markets were down about 1.16%, about $5.22. Final print came in at 442.89, and we do have the 50-period EMA right below us at 442, so I am going to watch as well to see how markets react if we do come into that area. But you can see we never really recaptured any of these bigger picture levels for us to, in the short term, really be looking bullish. Let's just jump into the weekly really quick. First close just below the weekly 9. Again, really not too much. Weekly 9 sitting right at 4.4321. So I'm going to see towards the end of the week if we do in fact close under that level, which I think would be an interesting development. But let's see what happens. Seeing a bit more of that momentum shift, right, coming into the weekly here, like we've been talking about. So that is interesting to see as well. But as I was talking about in the last video, we are coming into this potential oversold area on our Momo. So we're going to see how that plays out as well. Of course, it can get a little bit more oversold, but as we went over in the last plan, usually we can see some nice moves from there, whether it is a bottom or a temporary bottom. Of course, it can still get more oversold, so we'll watch that. You can see back in September, October, how oversold we got before actually seeing a momentum shift, right? All right, so let's take a quick look at a couple of other macro charts. Let's look at our fibs again. We're talking here now. We were watching the 444, and we are clearly below that 44625, which is another key area that we wanted to hold for the bulls. And this gap, has finally been filled that we've been watching. And if we continue to stay at least under this 44625, as I was mentioned, I believe, in the last video, our next bigger picture target, and now we're going to have to see how 442 reacts, but would technically be 438, and we'll call it 10, right here at this 38.2 extension. So we'll keep an eye on that as well. Let's look at one more daily chart really quickly. Okay, here's the gap fill. We've already kind of been over that. We've been waiting for this volume imbalance to get worked out, and it has. We'll see, very interesting spot here. So we'll see what happens tomorrow. We could see slight bounce and then continue down, but either way, we'll just trade our levels. All right, last macro chart we are going to take a peek at right here, and we will zoom in really quickly. And here we are hanging out right now at this trend line, just wicked right below it. No real confirmation of this break as of yet, but you can see here now we had 1, 2, 3, 4, 4 of our bullish pivots have been broken so far, and let's see, tomorrow if the bulls can potentially recapture that 444. I'm sure they're going to want to try to do that. So, all right, so let's look into the daily plan for tomorrow, some areas where we may want to engage the market and manage our risk. I'll go over a couple of my trades as well. And I didn't get a chance to see, it's in my comments here. And I need to go back because I wanted to address that, and I had someone else asking me about the potential uptrend that was, of course, broken today. Let's go into our balance levels. Okay, let me just address these comments really quickly. Okay, where was it? Other things. Uptrend on the higher time frame. All right. Well, the two bottom points, you can see them right here. I left them on my chart. So this was a comment for Colin in the last video. So it was here and here, and you can see when we broke it, that really gave us that signal that the shorts were in play today. So I hope you can see that, Colin. And thanks for the question and comment. All right, so I'm going to still leave this uptrend on here just in case we start to trade up and potentially backtest it, right? Because that could offer a good short trade. But I will go over my trades a bit really quickly, and then we'll get into tomorrow. Because I do believe someone else actually was asking me about my short today that I took on Spider. And let me just double check exactly when I had gotten into that. I should have had this prepared. I think it was around 11, around 10. Okay, it was about, I started looking at those shorts around 11 o'clock. I did take a small loss, and then I got right back in at around 11:30. And basically what I was doing here, we talked about, playing these, the back tests of these previous balance levels. So I was really looking as we had traded back into this 445, 445.50. I was talking yesterday, part of the plan, that this would be the minimum I would need to see really to get long on the market. Ideally, the 446, 25, 23 area here. This recapture would have been a bit better confirmation for the longs, but I said, that there was a chance that if we recaptured here and held, that I would consider. But if not, we can also use these balance zones as areas to short into, right? Because there's resting liquidity here in these previous balance zones, and that's what we did. So basically, after we had bounced, come right back up into this area, we were still downtrending, of course. Overall, broke this trend that we were watching. So I took the short up in this area here, and that's why I took it. And then we took most of our profits down here. I unfortunately actually got out. I saw us just holding this level. We could not break this level today. So right at the end of the day, I thought maybe we would rally back up and retest up into this area, into the close. I was waiting all day for this move to the downside. Just saying, when are they going to just drop this damn bid? Because I knew that when they dropped the bid that we would see a move like this. And we did talk about this as well in the last daily plan, that under 443 60 area, as well as under 443, that probably lead us right into the secondary half gap. So I actually went long into the close. I got out of the short, although I still had some nice gains on it from up here. But so I got stopped out here, and then I tried another long right here into our half gap of this balance for a little push at the end of the day, which was a fun little move. So those are really the main trades that I took on the SPY today, just following the plan. And I'd mentioned here even that I'd be interested in a potential long, which I did. So took 2 trades right from the plan, and that's how they worked out. All right, so as far as tomorrow, as long as we can hold, now, Tuesday's local swing low, we do have a chance. You can see here we sold off again, barely touched it, and pushing back up. We have a chance to have some long opportunities to the upside. Definitely a little bit more risk going with the trend. Certainly is more of the safer trade. You could potentially look to be shorting into as long as that 444 holds. But if we start to get back over 443.60 and 444, then we'll be looking for price to potentially come back up into the 440.50 and then to retest the 445 area here and into the 445.50, where we could potentially look for a double top move, right? And we come into here and hit back down, and then we go back down. However, today was a bit of a trend day, so it wasn't a super strong trend, just in the sense that we were on SPY we were only down 1.16%. But basically a trend day nevertheless. So usually after that we can see some hesitation and some consolidation in the markets. So watch out for that as far as more potential just range and chop. We do have FOMC minutes tomorrow at 2 o'clock. Hasn't been too much of a market mover as of late. However, it can still give us a couple of tape bombs, so we'll have to see how that plays out. But either way, if you really want to look at the longs, really gotta see the recapture. Just like yesterday, we were talking, gotta see the recapture over 445.50, and if you want even more confirmation, over this 44623. But I would watch out if we start to trade up. We could start to back test this trend line, which may give us another opportunity for a short trade if we come into a 447, depending on what time we come into it, up at 447 and 447.50, right? Okay, but underneath now for the bears, let's talk about that. We talked about some potential long areas and some trades. I might even try a long overnight on futures, to be honest. I haven't really made a decision on that, but I might do that. It wouldn't surprise me to see a back test at least of 444. That would make sense. But then we'll have to see, how sellers and buyers interact in the auction at that time. But for now, bigger picture, as long as we stay below these 2 levels, yes, certainly shorts are in play. We could even come up into here, right? And shorts are still going to be technically in play. The daily 9 right now is actually, we have a nice confluence with the daily 9 sitting at 44725. So that is up in this general area here. So that could be an interesting short as well. If you do take the long, for example, to here, and we get up there, maybe flipping short. It's another idea. But for the bears, let's talk about some levels. Pretty much, okay, cool. pretty much, if we do stay and continue to trade below, I would say 444 is going to be the immediate area that they're going to need to defend. But as long as we trade below the 445.50, we have a shot at coming back and testing these swing lows. I don't know if they're going to break it tomorrow. Probably going to, you'd have to think bulls are going to give it one more college try to push us back up. But we start breaking under that 442.30, we'll call it, then we're going to be looking for trades to come down into 441, 47, 441, 40, 35 area. That starts to give up. Next target below that's going to be 441, and under that probably back into 440, 45, and then we'll have that big test at 440, right? We start breaking under that, look out. Probably going to see the next part of this balance area, which would take us down into basically 439, maybe 438, 35, in this general area, where you can look to cover or potentially look for long trades. 440, of course, big level, whole number, psychological, potential area for the longs as well. And if you're super bullish, or whatever the case might be, yeah, sure, you could try to play the longs at the bottom of this balance as well. So that's another opportunity. But those are some of the downside levels I'll be watching for tomorrow. Upside levels should pretty much all be familiar because we've been trading in this general area for a while. But yeah, I think that's about it for me. I hope you enjoyed the video and the content, and hope you're enjoying the new audio. Yeah, so thank you again to my subscribers and listeners. Really appreciate you taking the time and joining me. And yeah, take care and have a good rest of your night.